stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We have Tim Patricus, current selectman, our new first selectman elected, Tim Keeney, and Bob Schmidt, the new elected selectman, effective, I guess should be sworn in tomorrow, but effective January.
Sworn in on Monday, effective on the
16th. Right.
Very nice.
Mike Marinaccio, our chief financial officer, Brian Wissinger, our assistant finance director, Kim LaFleur, our operations director, Todd Rowland, our DPW director, and guest Steve Getman, representing the WPCA. I had sent a note out regarding WPCA has requested time at Thursday's Board of Selectmen meeting to discuss the urgent need for new WPCA members, given the announced retirement of Jim Patilio, chairman, and Charles Colby, vice chairman, at the end of this year. The retirement of these two long-term members with a combined 80-plus years of experience is a cause of concern. WPCA requires 7 members and 2 alternates. Currently, there are only 6 members with 2 alternates, positions being vacant. With the anticipated retirement of Jim and Charlie, 4 members left. So, Steve, I'm going to turn it over to you. Any comments or suggestions?
Yeah, well, like every board in town, we're looking for volunteers to come serve with the WPCA. We're approaching a real crisis because we have a major issue with some reconstruction down at the sewage treatment plant at Quality Avenue. We've been trying to solve the pollution problem for a couple of years. Deep has stonewalled us as far as using chlorine. Even though they supposedly adhere to the federal regulations, they will not allow us to use chlorine that would even meet the federal standards. So we have to go to a dechlorinization system, which requires, according to Deep, engineering study and the construction of a dechlorinization plant. With that going on, losing the chairman and the vice chairman, who have a lot of experience with things like, situations, that's a great loss. And another great loss is our town sanitarian, Steve Jacobs, who's been on top of things. So we need more people. We definitely need some help. Whether one of the selectmen can sit in and help out with the board, I don't know. But 4 people makes a quorum. And if we don't have the 4 of us there, once Jim and Charlie leave, we're going to be in a world of hurt. Some of the other items, does Steve talk about, or is on the agenda about the replacement of the sanitarium and the possibility of the health district? Is that also, or can I speak about that now?
That's not on the agenda, but we're addressing that aspect.
Okay, well,
the
sanitarium, definitely needs to be replaced. Steve's leaving. And in his efforts to help out the town, because he has no skin in the game, he wants to try and help the town get the best possible position. And different people have said, let's join the North Central Health District. Well, health districts, in theory, are great. In practice, they don't work, especially since the state of Connecticut has been cutting their funding. The health districts have been losing people left and right. As a matter of fact, health districts are stealing people from one another. If we were to join the health district, we would be the smallest town in the entire district, be paying a premium price for minimum service. So that's my opinion, anyways, from what I've seen. And I think Steve has given some reports to the Board of Selectmen.
Yes, we're aware of that, Steve, and we've been looking at a number of options which the new board will address, including the possibility of joining different health districts, hiring a replacement for Steve, whatever. But the current situation right now is your need for additional personnel.
We need people.
Do you have any recommendations, given the fact that we're going to lose 80 years worth of experience?
Where do you get 8 years of experience?
Well, I understand that.
We need somebody to come in, whether we need to put up some signs out at the transfer station or in front of City Hall or something. Trying to recruit people to come in and sit on the board once a month, maybe twice a month.
Yeah. You don't just want warm bodies. You want people that can help.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what do you need? I mean, what kinds of background are you looking for?
We don't necessarily need an engineer. We don't necessarily need, I don't believe we need any specific background. People who are willing to learn what's going on with the WPCA, how everything functions, interact with the sanitarian, and then make correct decisions. Now, the board is not really a political board. If it's broke, we try and fix it. That's, whether it's a sewer system, a water system, whatever else, doesn't matter for party lines. It's broke, it's gotta be fixed. We want people to be able to give us some input, spend some time, figure out what's going on. And again, we don't need chemical engineers so much. It'd be nice in a way, but we like some people to learn. Like, I didn't have any specific information about WPCA until I did join the board quite a few years ago. Not quite as long as Jim, whatever else.
How long have you been on?
14, 15 years maybe. I don't know. I lost count.
And Steve, according to the town website, your term and Dan Furrow both expire this December.
Okay, so if you're gonna,
Are you up for renewal?
I
That's question one. Do we have a bigger problem?
and then of course I think the board has to vote on the WPCA has to vote on who the chairman will be.
Right,
that's
right.
So that would be up to whoever's on the board.
And it's a 3-year term according to the site. That's
Right. Yeah,
consistent.
that'd be fine as long as I'm healthy and able to come to the meetings. All well and good.
Well, we can put out an announcement from this office to the Board of Selectmen requesting volunteers. Okay, we can put something in newsletter or whatever, so we can see if we can find people who step up. We've always had a problem in terms of getting volunteers for all the commissions. It's been
Yeah.
difficult, but in this case, it's critical. So anybody that knows anybody listening to this podcast, if you're interested, please contact this office.
And we still have Steve Jacobs listed on the website. When is his last day?
Last
December
December.
30th.
Okay. So it might be good to put something on the website that says click here to volunteer.
Absolutely.
Right.
And
We can do that.
it could go to Tim or someone that
Sure.
could facilitate nominations. But that way, if somebody looks on the website, sees what WPCA does, if they're inclined to learn more, at least you've got a way to capture them while they're looking at the website.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Good idea.
I found someone 2 days ago who's willing to serve, but
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who the person is yet.
All in favor? Aye.
Would the anonymous man please, anonymous resident please?
Well, that's good news.
First person I called.
Good.
good.
That's fantastic.
Call some additional ones because we need 2 alternates also.
Yeah.
They have to be appointed by the board.
Yeah.
By the board of selectmen, and then once they
Yeah.
start coming up to speed with what's going on,
Excellent.
that'd be wonderful.
Good luck.
Do you know anything about Dan Farrell, whether he's interested in staying on or?
Don Farrar, I'm not sure about Dan. He's
Farrar.
the secretary, and I know he sits on several other boards.
Yeah, he
He
does.
So
does,
I don't
yeah.
know what his status is.
I'll reach out to Dan.
Have a
That's no problem.
All right, Steve, in the meantime,
I haven't seen
we'll
him.
advertise this and see if we can get some people to step up and give us a hand.
Yeah, he's been
How are you going to advertise it? Just put it on the website?
I'll put it on the website, Facebook, and
Yeah.
we'll
We'll get the word out.
Okay.
Everbridge.
Good.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
So
Once it doesn't call at 6:30 in the morning.
I won't do that.
Would you like
I
to
won't
serve
do
on the
that.
WPCA? Press 1.
I only do that.
Todd's the only one that does it. Yeah.
That's for
Roads are
traffic.
closed.
But that's
yeah.
good because people are driving
Yeah,
that
you
early,
need
so
that.
that's good.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, thanks.
Thank you.
We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Steve.
Can I sit on the right?
Yeah,
No
no problem.
problem. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda are 3 resignations. The first one is from Richard Brooke Morrell in the library. It is with heavy heart and abundance of gratitude that I tender my resignation. My last day will be November the 5th, 2021. Second resignation is from the Department of Public Works, Fran Budgeon. Good morning. As of this morning, November the 1st, I met with Todd Rowland to notify him of my 2-week notice. My last day of work will be November 12th. My 3 vacation days, we talked about using them for the days of November 9th, 10th, and 12th. And lastly, from the Finance Department, Marie Karen. Dear Mr. Michael Manaccio, I am writing to you to announce that I've decided to resign my employment in the town of Somers, effective November 26th. I greatly appreciate all the town of Somers has given me to develop my professional skills and career. My decision to resign is based upon an opportunity to relocate to another state. On a more personal note, I will miss everyone greatly. You have all become like family to me. Respectfully, Marie, Karen.
Make a motion that we accept the 3 resignations as read by First Selectman Rohr with regrets and thanks for service.
I'll second that motion.
Any additional comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Having said that, I'm turning the meeting over to Brian Wissinger to talk about replacement of Marie Karen.
Before we do that, there's a resignation that I sent to Kim that I'd like to put under 5 also. That'll be mine from the chair role in the IT governance committee.
You are resigning.
Resigning from that role. We met yesterday as a committee, talked about it with folks, with Bill Meyer coming in as a selectman. Bill's been on the committee. He'll be able to replace me and be that liaison between Board of Selectmen. We still have Joe Tolasano on the committee who will represent Board of Finance. We have Brian from the school district. We have Paul from Enfield, Mike and Brian Woodsinger in it also. So I don't think there's any need to replace me, but as chair, I'll step out of the way so that Bill can.
Do we need a motion on that to appoint this?
Yeah, I think you do.
Just to
So
accept
we
it.
don't have to
Just to
appoint
accept
anybody.
it.
No, just
Accept the resignation. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resignation of Tim Patricus as the chair.
With regrets, I second that. Any additional?
What's the formal name of the committee? The
IT Summers IT Governance Committee.
IT Governance Committee. Okay.
Perhaps Mike, you can give everybody an overview of what this committee has been established and what its goals are.
Well, the board here established it after I proposed it. It was a recommendation from Bloom Shapiro, who had done a security assessment of both the schools and the town. Said that we needed to have a governance or an oversight committee. And honestly, it serves as a bridge between the user community and the selectmen, and it serves as a buffer and a filter for everything that's IT and IT needed. There's a lot of good things are happening in that committee right now. We meet quarterly, although it's probably been a little bit more than quarterly lately, but we plan to go on a quarterly schedule. So any kind of IT need or
Infrastructure, especially.
infrastructure or whatever is going to go through that committee. And they've entertained a few items which are going to end up in front of CIP, and the selectmen will also know what those are.
So
But
this
it's
involves,
been-
involves coordination also with schools too.
Well, it's been a great cross-collaboration between school and town
Yeah.
hall, but also resources like from Enfield to bring the wisdom of what that community has gone through to correct their network for today's needs has really benefited us. And I think the
Yeah.
work that Brian's done with vendors that you'll see the proposals on, it's off and running. It's a
It's
good team.
exciting.
And, our decision last night was keep it small.
Yeah.
With the representation from finance, from the Board of Selectmen, from the school district, and the input from other people that really get what that thing's all about. It's a really good crew, and they're in good hands.
Okay.
We really have a team of experts that look. I mean, our individual Paul Russell, who lives in town, who's the IT director for both the schools and the town in Enfield. Knowledgeable,
Yeah.
experienced IT professional. You have Joe Tolasano, who was on our Board of Finance, but was the director of IT for all the state colleges.
Yep.
So, I mean, just those two guys alone on the
You
committee.
couldn't
It's just
afford that
awesome.
talent. No, you
No,
couldn't
we
afford
couldn't
that
afford the
talent.
hourly rate if we
Yeah,
asked
exactly.
them to come in, so,
Yeah. It's exciting
and
stuff.
so, it's
And
really,
like Steve said, it's hard to find people to volunteer, but when you find the right people and you
Right.
give them some clear objectives, this thing's been a rocket ride and it's in really good shape. So
I received are we done with that one?
Yes.
I received a resignation notice from Ann Logan this afternoon with regards to Charles Colby, who is resigning from the Prison Liaison Committee or Commission. Just
Yeah, I guess a certain part of your career, whether it's WPCA or the Prison Liaison Committee.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
It's acceptable.
Make a motion to accept
so moved.
second.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
Again, with
Accept his
regrets and
Charles
thanks.
Colby's resignation from the Prison Liaison Committee with regrets. And thanks for his efforts in that regard. All right, Brian, you're up next regarding the replacement job description and salary range for Marie Karen.
Yep. So the news was broke to me Monday morning that Marie would be resigning and moving away. So it changed my entire outlook for the week. Put this at the forefront. I went in. I talked with Mike. We went back and forth for probably a good 45 minutes, determining what we wanted to do with that position, how we wanted to redo it. We both agreed that keeping it as a clerk position is probably not the greatest idea. Moving it more into someone with a accounting degree
Similar to
and
what happened to you when
education.
you came with us, right?
So yeah, I mean the job description that we have here that I sent out to you guys is basically it's close to the job description that I was hired under 8 years ago. Somebody who is kind of fresh out of school, somebody who has an accounting degree but doesn't have necessarily years and years of experience, somebody that we can mold and teach and learn and turn them into an accountant that can bear more of the job load than current. We did some market research. We would like to post the job as soon as possible with a salary range of $48,000 to $52,000, depending upon relevant experience and education.
What's the current salary?
Marie is currently at like 49 and some change, so it stays right in that same salary bucket.
Can you hire for that anymore?
Yeah, I mean, it's
tough.
It's going to be tough. I think it'll be attractive to the right.
There could be a premium on that now, the way the market is going.
Yeah, my fear was you start getting much higher than that, you're going to start getting somebody who's got 5-10 years experience, and while that's great,
Yeah.
I'm not looking to replace me. Not yet. Not yet.
Well, nobody cares what you're looking for. What's Tim looking for?
So somebody who can kind of build that up though, and have room to grow. You start them at the top of the line; they don't have room to grow either.
I know. Well, I mean, we just posted the library director role, and that came in a little bit above where we thought. So I didn't know if that was market number or should we plan differently. So.
Well, I think we gave a pretty good market number, but considering the experience that the woman had who applied for the job.
No, I meant for this one.
Oh,
Can we hire for this one? Is that a good market number today for this role?
From what we've seen, what we've looked at, in fact, we've looked at the market over the past year in towns in the state and what they've hired associate accountants in at. And that seems to be the range. It depends on years of experience. So it's what you want for experience. And we want no more than 3 years in this position. Otherwise, like Brian says, you start moving into 60, 70, 80,000 a year.
You start getting a senior or
Anything,
staff accountant type.
So like anything over 3 years, 3, 4, 5 years especially, there's a premium price. So I think we'll go out with this and see. We'll cast the net and see what comes in. Hopefully more than if you just casted a hook. and based on that, we'll take it from there. We'll let you know if we're not on.
Yeah.
How do you publicize the job?
We have had success using, we use our website.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to publicize this on the Connecticut GFOA, that's
CCM.
Government Finance Officers Association website,
Mm-hmm.
where just about all government accounting jobs are. We have done in the past Indeed.com and received hundreds.
You get too many. It's just and
Hundreds of
everybody's just
resumes.
clicking.
Many of them people just send them in. They don't even.
I've seen some that are just their name and phone number, and
CCM.
I worked here.
We can post it on CCM too, Mike. So
Yeah.
that's
So
good.
those are our go-tos, and we'll see what comes
Yep.
up from that.
Or get a hot shot out of college.
Yeah, and it goes on our
Yeah.
website as well. And like just
Um,
recently, I think we have like 6 job openings. That I put
Yeah.
those on Facebook as well, just
Yeah.
to kind of.
And that
Oh,
post
yeah.
got
Reach out to
shared.
locals
That
and-
post got shared quite a bit.
Yeah, it did,
as well. So
I'm also reaching out to our audit partner, who lots of times in their accounting firm, somebody's audited for a couple of years and then they're tired of the public accounting life.
Or an intern that might be looking for a full-time thing.
And so they want something a little more stable or fixed, and so that's a possibility too.
So do you need a motion to post this?
Yes.
Yeah.
At that
And
range,
approve
yeah.
the
Approve
job
the job
description and the
description.
salary range. Yep.
Make a motion that we post the opening for the
Associate accounting.
accounting associate in the range of $48,000 to $52,000.
Second the motion.
Okay, any additional comments before we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Good luck, Brian.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
I'll post it right now.
I'm not quite sure why my thing was page 3 of 2.
I don't know you though. You sent it to me. I
We'll
gotta
find
fix
Why
it.
didn't it update?
As an accountant, you should be able to know it's page 3.
I don't know how to use a word.
I'll do
I
it.
can do it
I
on
looked at
Excel.
it, but I figured just to get it on. the
Brian, how much
agenda.
experience did you have when we gave you the job?
He
I was still
fresh.
in school.
He was,
Well, that's
he
what
was
I'm saying,
interning
yeah.
in.
I was
Ants, remember?
interning. I graduated 2 months after I was hired.
Get a hotshot graduate.
Yeah.
Right from school.
That's kind of my goal, is somebody who has the classroom knowledge but hasn't been, somebody that doesn't know it all. I already know it all. I don't need somebody who knows it all.
Well said, Todd.
They're not cynical yet?
Yeah.
Rose-colored glasses. Right?
Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Very nice.
Todd, you're up with your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nope, we got holidays.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Holiday schedule?
Bud has clearly canceled all holidays next year before he leaves office.
Yeah, that's right. I want holiday forever.
With all the requests.
Yeah, I got something.
And the fire stuff. And, yeah, the lighting, the LED.
Yep.
stuff.
This is similar to what we've had last year.
Yeah, I just take it from the States.
We didn't call it Lincoln's birthday last year.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
We had made it a floating holiday.
Yeah.
Right. No one gets
Yeah.
Lincoln's birthday off.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't close
Right.
the offices for
No,
it.
exactly.
No Indigenous Peoples Holiday. That's not included.
It's not.
So,
It's not
no.
a state holiday.
It's not a state
It
holiday.
is
So
a
I
federal
think-
holiday. It's
right.
not a state. And that's not. And that's not indigenous. That's the Columbus Day one. You're talking about Juneteenth.
You're talking about Juneteenth.
So for the purposes of discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the 12 holidays as presented in accordance with CGS 1-4.
Well, we're gonna amend that, I believe, to make the Lincoln's birthday a floating holiday.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. I'll amend my motion to reflect Lincoln's birthday as a floating holiday.
Okay.
Is that the day they take it, or is it actually a floating
They
holiday?
just,
that
we are
takes
open
them?
that day and then they take it whenever.
Excellent.
That's what we had
Yeah.
last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
I'll
need a
second that motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Any additional discussion, comments?
You've got Friday, November 11th as Veterans Day. Do you want to update that to, that should be Thursday, right? Isn't it?
They observe it on that day.
But do we
It'll be
want
a-
to do Thursday as the holiday since Friday we're closed? Do you want to do
They
it?
can use it as a floater.
Yeah, usually Fridays, town hall people take them as floaters.
Yeah.
People like Public Works would be closed
Instead of
on that
having a
Friday.
day off,
Okay.
so,
That's fine.
yeah.
And we track the floaters internally.
Yeah.
This is next year,
This is,
2/20.
you're right.
Right.
not this
Right.
year. It's Thursday.
Thursdays this year. Yeah.
Friday next year.
Well, I just didn't know if they wanted to post Thursday the 10th as an observance of, but I understand it's a floater, so that's fine.
Any additional comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, Brian, you're up. I'm
No,
sorry.
Todd's up.
Brian,
I've already done my
Brian,
piece.
we want you to do all of these.
I know, right? So we have a request to fill.
You can scoot down.
There's a lot, but they're not taxing. Everybody, I believe everybody has copies.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, you sure?
All right. As I had written to the first selectman, and I believe it's shared with all of you, I have 5 requests for the board of selectmen.
Just
This-
5?
Just 5 this time. The first is a request to fill 2 open seasonal plow operator positions. We have 2 guys that are not coming back for whatever reasons, and these are on-call seasonal plow operator positions for whenever we need them to staff a vehicle, if and when it snows. We went through our typical process, which we do use Indeed, but we use a filter on Indeed, because you're right, you can get 100. But in this case, we need a commercial driver's license, Class B or higher, which filters out 90% of all the junk things that we get. And we had several applicants, local. We interviewed them. The highway foreman, the parks foreman, and myself interviewed both John Thompson and Shane Baker. Both have plowing and heavy equipment experience, and both are willing to work the crazy hours that we work and be on call, which is a big part of this position. It's tough because you may not work or you may work the 20-hour shift. You just never know.
Will you ask how many mailboxes they have to get out of there?
No.
Just checking.
That's not how many we need to sell this year.
That's right.
And we think they'll work out well for us. So we respectfully request permission to hire both John Thompson and Shane Baker for seasonal plow operators.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the hiring of John Thompson and Shane Baker to fill open season on-call plow operation positions at the rate of $23 an hour.
Second?
Additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is the another Eagle Scout project. This one is for in front of the library.
Very busy group.
They are.
This is
But the
it's
ones that
been-
I have all look great.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Those are
They came
nicely
out
done.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Yep.
This request is from Patrick Connors. He wants to install a bench in front of the library. It's going to actually have a solar-powered plug-in charger with it, so people can sit out there and plug in their iPhones or what have you and enjoy being outside. The library board already voted in favor of this and has forwarded it onto the selectmen for consideration. I've looked at it, so hasn't the parks foreman, and we're both in favor of the project as well.
Make a motion to approve the Eagle Scout project for a bench with a power charging slot in front of the library from Patrick Connors.
Second that motion.
Any additional discussion, gentlemen? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Like to say airport.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Next, we have Deborah Romano has requested to serve on the Open Space and Trails Committee. We have an open space on that committee. She came in and met everybody at our last meeting and was well received. She's got she gives us a little bit of information about herself and what she's done in the past. And we think she would be a good volunteer for that committee. She's a retired kindergarten teacher and belongs to several dog clubs as well as our chair and Moses, who got her to come and volunteer. And I think she'd be a good fit for that committee, and the committee agrees.
Make a motion that we approve Deb Romano for a position on the Open Land and Trails Commission.
Second?
Any additional discussion?
Do you want to bid for her, Steve, before we
Yeah.
vote on it?
I'll take it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next request is from Little League, Summers Little League. They'd like to make some improvements to the two ball fields out here. First is the installation of new foul poles on both the minors and majors fields. Next is to have a vendor do some infield improvements and some minor drainage to the minor league field. The next is installation of out-of-bounds fences on first and third baselines to kind of enclose the field of play, because right now they're wide open and spectators sometimes, when they get passionate about their children, will walk onto the field during the game, which is an issue. The other is to get another shed because they've run out of space with their current shed. They'd also like to tarp the batting cage floor and redo it so it would be a little bit nicer, and also pour some concrete at the dugout entrances, which are all dirt and tend to track all over the place. The parks foreman and I met with the representative of Little League and are in favor of all of these additions. Little League is going to bear the entire cost of this, so there's no cost to the town. It would be the maintenance of which is going to be incidental. We're already out there all the time anyway, so it's not a heavy lifting event at all. Maureen is in favor with the Recreation and Leisure Services Director. We think it'll be a good addition, and since they're paying for everything, we have no objections.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the improvements as proposed for the Little League fields.
Second?
Additional discussion?
Just a question on item 4 on that list, Todd. The placement of the shed between the fields, is there any concern for EMS being able to reach the field if they need to?
No, because it's actually more concerned about mowing. So they're working with Bruce, the parks foreman, as to placement and how we're going to do it, so that we can get our mowers through. EMS wouldn't drive between the two fields. They'll back right up and just
Okay.
wheel people right up. I mean, it's big enough to walk and get a stretcher through. For us, it's where they put the shed could impact how we get through there with mowers, so they're going to work with the Parks Department on that.
Very good.
I got a question. Just, I know in the past we have not approved some improvements that were requested because of cost.
Yep.
Where is this money coming from? Do we
The
know?
Little League has their own fund. They're a 501c3 and they do
They
fundraisers.
just get
and-
contributions. And
Yeah, they get vendors to donate time or materials, and they have, the candy bars or they have those tickets.
They have
that Mike
everything.
Healy,
They have the cards.
Cards.
$25 for the
Right.
ticket.
It's
You know, they do
ridiculous.
fundraisers every year. And
Hey,
have
but
a
They haven't
pot
done
of
those in a
money.
couple
I
of
know,
years,
I
though,
like those.
unfortunately.
No, he hit me up
Discounts.
last year.
At Dunkin'
Him-
Donuts.
him-
It's $25. I never use anything on it.
I use Dunkin' Donuts religiously on it.
Too.
Contribution. They've been
That's
very.
right.
they've
It
been
makes
very
my coffee the
proactive
cost
in
of a
using
senior
that.
citizen coffee. It's
Some of us get that without the card.
Any additional comments on number 4? All in favor?
Aye.
The last request is for the first selectman to sign the agreements with Greenleaf Energy Solutions. This is through the Eversource Business Advantage program. We've done this with virtually all town buildings in the past. We ask them to come in every 3 to 5 years and review our buildings. What this is it's all kind of energy improvements. This is particularly for lighting. We look at 3 buildings, the fire department, public works, and this building, town hall. When we go through it, what they do is the engineer and I go around and look at every fixture, and they make a list, and they say what's in the fixtures now. Like these are T8s, and if we convert them to LED, what will the impact be as far as energy savings or electrical savings? The nice thing about the Business Advantage program is that Eversource kicks in 25%. It's a grant right from them directly, and then they treat it as a lease program over the term of this contract. We always look at it as if it's a 5-year or less term, then it's worth doing because we have a net savings. If it's more than 5 years, it's not worth doing, as you can see with the graph. Town hall is more than 5 years, and I'm not recommending doing town hall. I am requesting that we do the fire department and the public works. They're both under 5 years. And the nice thing is once you're past the 5-year point, you own the lights, and that lease payment goes away. So the way they structure the lease payment is that the amount of money you're saving, let's say you save $50 a month in the electric bill, the payment is $50. So it's net neutral revenue. You know, your cost is about the same every year, and then once you get done with the program, you have all new lights.
And all their savings.
Yes, and you incur all of those savings going forward. Town hall doesn't make any sense.
I'm kind of shocked about considering the number of lights and the amount of usage.
Well, we look at the hours of operation for each facility, the number of lights, and if it would make sense. I mean, these are fairly energy efficient fluorescents, so going to an LED, you don't have that big a nut of savings. The other part of this is when we did them with the other buildings, Eversource, when we started doing it years ago, would give 60% grant, and it went to 40%, now they're at 25%. Who knows what the future holds?
So your recommendation is fire department, public works?
Yes, and not the town hall.
Make a motion that we accept the proposal for the Greenleaf LED program for fire department and public works at a revenue neutral cost to the town.
I'll second that motion.
Additional discussion.
Got a question about, just curious, what was the EMR? What does that refer to with regards to town hall? EMR are the initials.
Oh,
EMR
the,
costs.
What line are you on?
Second line, project costs.
Yeah.
Oh, the utility incentive. That's the 25% from, or the what Eversource will give us or grant us.
No, I think it's the line above this 11 number.
Oh,
EMR.
It's the only one that has
EMR
that.
costs.
It's the only one that has
Estimated.
EMR cost on it.
Just wondering what that was.
That is a good question. But that
Because it
is,
seemed to have, it applies to town hall, but not to
Right.
public works or the fire department.
I would have to pull the proposal, which I don't have with me, guys. I don't
Doesn't
recommend
make a
that.
lot of difference since we're not
Yeah.
approving it. because of
Although it's
that.
very close to the loss that they're projecting over 5 years for town hall, if you look at the bottom line.
Who signs the agreement?
The first selectman.
So you have to authorize him to sign it then, I guess.
Part of your motion should be
Well,
to authorize the first selectman to sign the agreement
Right.
with the vendor.
additional discussion, comments,
I'll modify my motion to authorize the first selectman to sign the letter of authorization for Public Works and Fire Department.
For Green Leaf Solutions.
Yep, modifying document, authorize.
I'll second that.
okay. Further discussion or not? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'm following up on Tim's comments. I'd like to know what that BMR is.
I'll get back to you. I'll email you. Thank you.
Just one other
Thank you.
question I had was, are there other factors that you should be considering as well with regards to Eversource incentives that, for, in other words, can you put things together, cobble things together for programs, or is it just go only with these improved lighting?
Well, the business advantage or the small business advantage program does look also at, we could look at boilers and variable speed controls. It looks at all energy components. Lighting has always historically been the most bang for the buck because the other things you look at are
That's sort
so
of
capital
low-hanging
intensive.
fruit.
Yeah, because to change out lighting, they don't even change the fixtures. It's pull the bulbs and put in ballast essentially. They change them to LED with no electronic ballasts. When you start talking about variable speed drives or HVAC equipment or boilers, those are far more expensive to buy from the outset, so the payback on it is going to be a lot longer. And trying to come up with the numbers where it makes sense to do it, you're probably not going to realize the kind of savings you want to over a 5 or even 10 year period.
Did they provide an audit for you as to what?
Not for that, no. Most of these companies tend to focus on lighting because it's a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
To do that audit for anything else.
Easy decision.
We looked at it at Public Works about 7 years ago, trying to go to just variable speed drives, which is the pump motors, and it still didn't make any sense at that time. And now the incentives are even less. So maybe the Green Bank will be kicking more money in the future. There's no way of knowing what the state's going to fund.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome.
Next item is scheduled payments. Both the gentlemen received the information from Brian.
Yep. I had no questions on it this time around.
I had a few questions, but they were answered by Brian earlier in the day. I'd like to make a motion that we authorize scheduled payments of $201,278.12.
Second?
Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here you go, Brian. The next item is public comments.
If no one else has any, I'd like to just read a quick statement of thanks.
Okay.
So I just wanted to take a moment and thank everyone who I've been able to participate with in town government, especially those that I've had the pleasure to work with over the last 5 years. So to Bud, to Kathy Devlin, who's not here, Tim, to Mike and Brian, Kim, Police Department, Todd, Fire Chief, Social Security, Social Services, everybody. I don't want to speak for Bud, but as I look back on the last 5 years, I think we've worked hard to really put the community first, make that the aspect of the board's work. And leaving these roles, I think, with the community enhanced by what we've accomplished together, and certainly not the two of us, but everybody that works in Town Hall. Road improvements, the ability to keep the transfer station operating despite the rules that keep coming down the road. Fire department, police, professional development and capital needs. The social services, the community recreation improvements. The cleanup of the Summersville mill site. We've begun to address some social issues in town. We supported the track and field development up at the public schools, and Mike worked very hard to get bonding done to do that. Professional development through collaboration with Bay State University. Even timing the traffic signal here at 190 and Main Street seems better. And partnering the state for resources for grant money and things like that. So I feel like I was never elected to run the town as much as steward it forward. And I call on those new to the respective roles to put the community ahead of any personal objectives, especially those that might be viewed as conflicts of interest or personal gain, and ahead of party politics and party goals. And in closing, I just want to encourage other people in town to step forward, serve in any capacity they feel they can, and help with that goal of stewardship. Despite any dialogue among board, staff, and community, it's well worth the effort when the results are so impactful. Congratulations, Bob. Tim, congratulations on your role. To Bill, to Dave Marty, who's going to step into the awesome job of town clerk. But on behalf of myself, my wife, thank you for everything the community's given us. It's been my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bob, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, not at this time.
Tim?
No.
The elected first selectman? Thank you, Tim. Thank you,
Thanks, bud.
Tim, also for the opportunity and the privilege to serve. And I know we're leaving town in good hands.
We are indeed.
Last item is minutes for approval, September 16th, 10/7, and 10/21.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented
For all 3 days.
for all 3 days. Yes.
I've reviewed them and don't have any edits.
And A plus.
Got 'em right.
Way to go, Ken.
I think you officially have to second those, folks, right?
Second.
Did you manufacture it?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Move to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.